Have you ever been at school and you're waiting to get picked up and your best friend's dad comes in and he's awesome and your dad is just like an abusive, crazy person and you look at your friend leave with his dad and you're like, dang, yo, I wish that was my dad. That's kind of what America is going through right now. Like, that's kind of what America is going through right now because Canada just got a new prime minister who is looking like he's equipped to handle the nation's problems and be a good reverse course of the prior liberal regime under Trudeau. And he's a businessman and he's really smart and serious, but he likes to have a good time. Like he'll go to concerts with his supporters. He's very accomplished, very educated. And then we have the opposite of that over here in America, right? Also, that dad analogy doesn't extend to me. My dad's cool. But yeah, it's like I feel like I'm really feeling the jealousy lately because it's like they seem to have a plan. And, Carney agreed, obviously, to come to the White House, newly elected. And I'm expecting him to kind of put the clamps on Trump. Stop saying that you're going to invade us, dummy. You can't say that about my country. I'll smack you right now. Like, that's what I'm expecting this to go like. But let's see. I always thought it was so awkward how they position them because it almost looks like they're supposed to be a table in front of them, but instead their crotches are just pointing towards the camera.
Thank you very much, everybody. It's a great honor to have Prime Minister Mark Carney with us. As you know, just a few days ago, he won a very big election in Canada.
Yo, Mark Carney should be thanking Trump. Yo, there's no way he was gonna win if Trump didn't act like such an idiot in his first 90 days. Like,
And I think I was probably the greatest thing that happened to him, but I can't take full credit. His party was losing by a lot, and he ended up winning. So I really want to congratulate him. It was probably one of the greatest comebacks in the history of politics, maybe even greater than mine.
spoken like someone that doesn't know anything about politics, because there's no way that that event was one of the craziest things ever, unless it's in relation to just a rejection of Trumpism. You know what I mean? That's probably how Trump views it, because he looks like he would like really personalize conflicts like that. He's like, oh man, if Pierre wins, then I'm the goat. If Carney wins, then the radical left won this one.
But I want to just congratulate you. That was a great election, actually. We were watching it with interest, and I think Canada chose a very talented person, a very good person, because we spoke before the election quite a few times. And it's an honor to have you at the White House and the Oval Office. And you see the new and improved Oval Office as it becomes more and more beautiful with love. We handle it with great love and 24 karat gold. That always helps, too. Right? But
He's the president. I mean, I appreciate the fact that the president's at least trying to throw in some jokes. I mean, Donald Trump is definitely an interesting watch, for sure. Usually for bad reasons, but he's literally just freewheeling it. Like,
it's been a lot of fun. We're going over some of the beautiful pictures that were stored in the vaults that were for many, many years, in some cases over 100 years. They were stored in vaults of the great presidents or almost great presidents, all having a reason for being up, every one of them. So it's very interesting. But I just want to congratulate you, and ran a really great race. I watched the debate. I thought you were excellent, and I think we have a lot of things in common. We have some tough points to go over, and that'll be fine. We're going to also be discussing Ukraine, Russia, the war, because Mark wants it ended as quickly as I do. I think it has to end. We had
why would Canada care about that? Honestly, I mean, I guess Canada would want Ukraine to win too. Maybe as like the broad West, or like NATO, I guess. But why would they care?
some very good news last night. The Houthis have announced that they are not, or they've announced to us at least, that they don't want to fight anymore. They just don't want to fight. And we will honor that. And we will We will stop the bombings, and they have capitulated. But more importantly, we will take their word. They say
People say like that Donald Trump seems like he has dementia. I guess there is some merit to that, but for me, he's always read more like someone that's not really prepared for what he's talking about. Like, because like if someone asked you like as a kid to like write like a book report, you'd come up to there like, yeah, Tom Sawyer is a really, really good book and it has really, really deep themes about things of all kinds, of all natures. It's timeless for a reason. And ultimately, that just leads to just the powerfulness of the characters. Like, you know what I mean? You just kind of freewheel it, like this is kind of major important news where people's lives hang in the balance, and for him to just kind of just casually roll this out in a meeting about Canada, no one even asked you about that, fool.
they will not be blowing up ships anymore, and that's what the purpose of what we were doing. So that's just news. We just found out about that. So I think that's very, very positive. They were knocking out a lot of ships going, as you know, sailing beautifully down the various seas. It wasn't just a canal; it was a lot of other places. And I will accept their word, and we are going to stop the bombing of the Houthis, effective immediately. And Marco, you'll let everybody know that, okay? Do you have something to say about that, by the way? It's a pretty big announcement.
Yeah, this was always a freedom of navigation mission. These are, a band of individuals with advanced weaponry that were threatening global shipping, and the job was to get that to stop. And if it's
Slightly unrelated, but remember when Hassan interviewed a Houthi rebel? Like, there's really a non-zero chance that someone tries to like take him to task for doing that. And for the record, I didn't think that was cool. Like, I didn't think that was cool at all. You know what I mean? If you're like holding up people's ships with guns and stuff, like that's not cool with me. Um, and do they have some political merit? Obviously, like but like, isn't that just a funny thought? Like, the Trump finds out about that shit, and he's like, "No way, nah."
going to stop, then we can stop. And I think it's an important development.
And we'll have maybe before we're going to, as you know, the Middle East, Saudi Arabia. We're going to UAE and Qatar, and that'll be, I guess, Monday night. Some of you are coming with us. I think
Bro,
before
who
then,
cares?
a very, very
Who
big
cares?
announcement to make, like as big as it gets, and I won't tell you on what, but it's gonna, and it's very positive. I'd tell you if it was negative or positive. I can't keep that out. It is really, really positive.
What is it, martial law?
And that announcement will be made either Thursday or Friday or Monday before we leave. But it'll be one of the most important announcements that have been made in many years about a certain subject, very important subject. So you'll all be here.
This isn't a teaser for the season finale of the Apprentice. Yeah, it's like, why are you keeping this? Why are you keeping this a secret? Why mention it at all if it's a secret? What? Like, and if you're not gonna mention like what sector it's in, then you're just promising that something vaguely good is gonna happen in the future, and giving your track record of stuff that you thought was good, like that's very concerning. I feel like that's why he's saying it, because it scares people.
Mark, would you like to say a few words?
Well, thank you, Mr. President. I'm on the edge of my seat, actually.
I
For the
know.
big announcement.
That's what someone actually funny sounds like. People are like, "Oh, Trump is so funny. Trump is so funny, duh, dude. He's so funny, duh." Like, I feel like being funny is like being clever, like having smart stuff to say. I don't know.
But thank you for your hospitality and above all for your leadership. You're a transformational president. Focus on
No
the
doubt.
economy with a relentless focus on the American worker, securing your borders, providing ending the scourge of fentanyl and other opioids, and securing the world. And
This guy is very intelligent. Like, because first of all, there's no doubt in my mind that Mark Carney hates this fool's guts, right? Maybe not hates his guts like on a personal, visceral level, but Trump represents the biggest threat to this guy's whole entire legacy on this planet. Like, because if he fumbles this Trump American fascist dictatorship and Canada falls to him, or even worse yet, gets annexed by them, then he's going to go down as the worst prime minister in Canadian history, right? But he is just a cool customer, just because he's, I guess, worked in finance and just is used to talking about really highfalutin deals and stuff. He just made Trump's 90 days in office sound kind of quaint and cool. Like, he ain't quaint and chill. Like, you know what I mean? I mean, obviously, he had to omit a lot of crazy stuff, the insults to his people, but, that was a perfect way of appeasing him. Trump likes to hear that stuff. And I don't know. I don't know.
I've been elected with my colleagues here, with the help of my colleagues here. I'm going to spread the credit to transform Canada with a similar focus on the economy, securing our borders, again on fentanyl, much greater focus on defense and security, securing the Arctic and developing the Arctic. And the history of Canada and the U.S. is we're stronger when we work together, and there's many opportunities to work together. And I look forward to, addressing some of those issues that we have, but also finding those areas of mutual cooperation so we can move forward.
That's great. Very nice. Thank you very much. It's a very nice statement.
Anybody?
Anybody?
Is USMCA dead?
No, it was actually very effective, and it's still very effective, but people have to follow it. So, that's been a problem. People haven't followed it. But it was a...
If I'm not mistaken, USMCA refers to the trade agreement between the United States and Canada that Trump backed out of recently, despite being the person to negotiate that in his first term.
Transitional step a little bit, and as you know, it terminates fairly shortly. It gets renegotiated very shortly. But I thought it was a very positive step from NAFTA. NAFTA was the worst trade deal in the history of our country, probably in the history of the world. And
if Trump says the sky is blue, then it's red. All right. If he says it's raining, it's sunny. If he says it's snowing, it's hot. Okay.
This was a transitional deal, and we'll see what happens. We're going to be starting to possibly renegotiate that if it's even necessary. I don't know that it's necessary anymore, but it served a very good purpose. And the biggest purpose it served is we got rid of NAFTA. NAFTA was a very unfair deal for the United States. Very, very terrible deal. It should have never been made. It was made many years ago, but it should have never been made.
Canada and the United States. Would you like to see your first trade deal be with Canada? Our neighbors in the world?
I would love that. Look, I have a lot of respect for this man, and
he has no respect for this man. I mean, I think given when you compare his vibe in this meeting, because Trump really wears it all on his sleeve, right? With Zelensky, you could tell that he was condescending to him. To Bukele, that you could tell that he was exalting him, he was putting him on a pedestal. With Carney, it almost feels like he knows that there are legitimately powerful people that would not stand for him being openly disrespectful, right? And now is Canada like Billy Badass, like as far as like countries go? Maybe not, but the United States needs Canada, especially with all this drama with China. We're basically not trading with China anymore. What the hell? We're not trading with China anymore, so it's like Canada has just become way more important. Even Mexico, despite the fact that Trump and his little goon squad of military representatives, like they all clearly want to, play with their toys in the desert, in the Mexican desert, and go kill some cartel members or whatever. I don't know.
Watched him come up in a sense through the ranks when he wasn't given much of a chance, and he ran a really great campaign. He did a really great debate. I think that debate was very helpful. I was going to raise my hand. I don't know if that's good or bad. I shouldn't say that. That might hurt you. But no, he ran a really great election, I thought. And yeah, something could happen. Something could happen. Yeah, please.
What's the top concession you want out of Canada? The top concession you want out of Canada?
Concession?
Yes.
Friendship.
What? What? We were friends, dummy. We were friends on January 19th of 2025. Like we were the closest of friends. We were best friends. We were best friends, yeah.
No, we're going to be friends with Canada. Regardless of anything, we're going to be friends with Canada. Canada is a very special place to me. I know so many people that live in Canada. My parents had relatives that lived in Canada, my mother in particular. And no, I love Canada. I have a lot of respect for the Canadians. Wayne Gretzky, I mean, how good, the great one. You happen to have a very, very good hockey player right here on the Capitals, who I have a lot of. He is a big.
I'm glad that he still has time to follow professional sports. That's great. I mean, and the thing is, it's like when Obama kept up with professional sports, it's like, yeah, because he's the GOAT. But when Trump keeps up with professional sports, it's like, aren't you supposed to be on the job? Like, it's kind of a double standard, I know. But that's also something that just rubs me the wrong way about, I don't know, Trump giving his sports takes. It's gross.
Tough cookie, too. He just broke the record. And he's a great guy. And we had the team here, and I got to know a lot of the players. But now Canada is a very special place. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, Mr. Prime Minister, I'd like to get your response to this too. Mr. President, you have said that Canada should become the 51st state.
Yeah. No. Well, I still believe that, but
He's definitely got some cojones. You know what I mean? I'm just some random fool, right? But if I was next to like the King of England, I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, like this should be the 51st state, and like, and he's the president, right? So like his word matters. So it's like the fact that you can have the prime minister of a sovereign nation right next to you and say, yeah, I still want to annex you. You know, it's good entertainment.
takes two to tango, right? But no, I do. I mean, I believe it would be a massive tax cut for the Canadian citizens. You get free military, you get tremendous medical cares and other things.
I mean, this is what happens when you elect a convicted R-worder to the presidency, because it's like, oh, it could be great, it would be awesome. It's like, except they don't want you. They don't want you. Like, if they don't want you, they don't want you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and keep bringing it up more and more and more. That's just making them not want you even more. Like, it's a simple rule that most people figure out by the time they finish high school when it comes to intimate interactions, right? But Trump clearly never learned that lesson. That's why he's convicted of the R word, right?
There would be a lot of advantages, but it would be a massive tax cut, and it's also a beautiful. As a real estate developer, I'm a real estate developer at heart. When you get rid of that artificially drawn line, somebody drew that line many years ago with like a ruler, just a straight line right across the top of the country. When you look at that beautiful formation when it's together.
What is he mouthing to himself? Yo, Carney, what are you mouthing to yourself? Are you cursing him out under your breath, yeah?
I'm a very artistic person, but when I looked at that beauty, I said that's the way it was meant to be. But I do feel it's much better for Canada.
I feel like he's amping up with energy because it's now or never. Like, he needs to say, piss off. Like, he's preparing to say, piss off. He'll never have Canada.
But we're not going to be discussing that unless somebody wants to discuss it. I think that there are tremendous benefits to the.
And in Trump's mind, because I've seen this guy a million times, yo, and God forbid you be this guy every now and again. Like, he's just trying to yap, and cover every single one of his bases. So, and just dominate the conversation so that he's not even going to want to chime in. You know what I mean? And by him not chiming in, that's almost like a tacit, like, defeat. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, well, you didn't say anything. You didn't say anything when I said I wanted to annex you. Like, you were sitting right next to me. You ain't say shit.
Canadian citizens, tremendously lower taxes, free military, which honestly we give you essentially anyway because we're protecting Canada if you ever had a problem. But
are you? I feel like that's almost unlikely, to be honest.
I think it would really be a wonderful marriage because it's two places that get along very well. They like each other a lot.
Well, if I may,
if I may defend my nation here. Yo, I mean obviously Mark Carney has some kind of like secret security, right? Um, I wonder what they look like. I wonder if they're goons. I wonder if something really popped off. I wonder if they could really throw down. You know, I wonder if they could beat up our Secret Service guys.
As you know from real estate, there are some places that are never for sale.
That's true.
We're sitting in one right now, Buckingham Palace that you visited as well.
That's true.
And having met with the owners of Canada over the course of the campaign last several months, it's not for sale, won't be for sale ever. But the opportunity is in the partnership and what we can build together. And we have done that in the past.
And again, it's like we're really starting to lose sight of like what actual clever diplomacy looks like in this Trump era, because it's like that was the perfect way to acknowledge that question. It's like, yeah, like I met with the owners of Canada when really he's referring to the voters, the sovereign citizens. I met with the people that own Canada, and they don't want that. So, and this place right here. Like and he's not, you can tell Mark Carney isn't a ball buster. Like he's more of a just let you say whatever you want kind of guy. Um, but like the implications there is like, oh, like this place is in for sale, right? Like the Buckingham Palace is in for sale. And look what Trump's doing. He's just backing down. You know what I mean? Because he doesn't want to force a confrontation. Because he doesn't want Mark Carney to get righteous. Like, you feel me? Like, and I think Mark Carney is a good enough communicator where, because Mark Carney is an adult, Trump is a child. Like, that's what it comes down to, right? Like, Donald Trump never developed past, the age he got famous, which is like in his early 20s probably. Like, you know what I mean? So like, I don't know. Man, is it too late to be Canadian? I wish that was my president. I wish it was flipped. I wish Canada had the stupid president and then we had the normal one.
Past. And part of that, as the president just said, is with respect to our own security. And my government is committed for a step change in our investment in Canadian security and our partnership. And I'll say this as well, that the president has revitalized international security.
Yeah, just kiss his ass a little bit so he doesn't get mad that you just said you can't have him, that he can't have you. Just kiss his ass a little bit, and then, and he'll be nice.
Revitalize NATO and us playing our full weight in NATO, and that will be part
That's
of it.
true. And they have, I must say, Canada is stepping up the military participation because
Canada would have done whatever we wanted just because we asked them to do it. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, maybe not now that everything is a lot more openly hostile. And this meeting looks like it's going fine, but the constituents that elected Carney are not going to stand for him being a Trump puppet. Like, I think that's political poison anywhere that's not the United States. Justifiably so.
Mark knew, they were low, and now they're stepping it up, and that's a very important thing. But never say never. Never say never.
And he's look at his face. He's like, "What did you just say to me, fool?" It's like, never say never. Yo, icky. Cover your drinks. Like, cover your drinks, yeah.
What would it take to get the tariffs off of Canada?
Well, we'll be talking about different things. Like, we want to.
What is it going to take for you to stop holding this country economically hostage, Mr. President? That's for us to figure out. It's like it's a private shakedown. It's a private shakedown. He has to do what I say.
Energy more than any country. We have just in Alaska alone, Anwar has been reopened now. Anwar is probably the largest find anywhere in the world. They say it's larger than Saudi Arabia. I don't know, but it's a lot. But we have tremendous amounts of energy. Other countries don't. We're both lucky in that way. They have energy. We have energy. We have more than we can ever use and more than we could ever sell, actually. And you have the same thing. So we're two countries that are very lucky. If you look at China, they don't have that. It's a big disadvantage. Other countries, most countries don't have.
Do a little trash talking in China. Ultimately, I'm glad that this situation didn't result in me as an American being embarrassed yet again. And not because Donald Trump isn't embarrassing, but it's like for somehow he's been curbed to not act like a total complete dumbass. Mark Carney stood his ground, so I'm proud of him on behalf of Canada. is there still room for one more? So I'm glad that he kind of got this moral stern victory, and we're gonna need Canada because these tariffs are coming. They're coming. But yeah.